Free feature and get started now. Visit GoBarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
The athletic trainers immediately came out and were all around him. And when they first tried to get him into the ambulance, they had to place him back down on the ground, and that's when the CPR was being administered.
McKinnon is the running back now. He peels to the left flank. Mahomes looks there. Outside throws to McKinnon. Touchdown! Kansas City! Jerick McKinnon.
Hand off, Deuce Vaughn. Big hole straight ahead. 20, 25, 30. Look out! What race is on? Midfield, outside the right numbers. 35, 30, 25, 20, 10, 5. Leap for the end zone. Touchdown! Kansas State. Loads up, fires right side. It's intercepted by Bud Clark. Clark down the left sideline. 20 to the 10. Touchdown, TCU! 39-yard pick six for Bud Clark. And TCU draws first blood in the desert.
2nd and 5 from the 10-yard line. 1 minute to play in the game. Bennett back to pass. Bennett looking, end zone. And he's got it! He's got it! He's got it! A.D. Mitchell with the touchdown catch! How about these dogs?
9 seconds left on the clock. Extra point for the lead. Hudak to snap. Glover to hold. Snap. Spot. Kick is good!
Wilson gets a screen, kicks in the corner. McCullough for three. He knocks it down. The biggest three by McCullough as the Kansas Jayhawks.
Mulcahy on the wing, 18 seconds left. Mulcahy, kick it out Spencer. Slide left, shoot the three for the lead. Yeah! With 13.3 to go, Rutgers up 65-64. And welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. GreatBendPost.com, streaming live on YouTube. According to everything that I've been told today, new equipment is in. Mike Hesher has been busy with
Watching
Matt Althouse. And I guess we have reached a new dimension here on Sports Day today. Is this true? Since Matt bolted, I was going to have him come on and explain exactly what's going to go on. So, with much trepidation, I turn it over to Mike Hesher to tell us about the latest developments here on Sports Day.
Well, I think Matt's coming back in because Matt was the one to break the news.
Okay.
So Matt is back.
We bring you
Matt Althouse.
Matt, we've reached a new dimension here on Sports Day today.
Yeah, live streaming. It's happening in front of everyone. Well,
Now I'm nervous here.
on. Yeah, there's about a 30-second delay.
Okay.
Mike Hesher.
Okay, so this was something we wanted to do when we brought Sports Day back. So, okay, that's what we're going to make it. So we added the video, and
we did not do this on our own.
No.
Mike has connections
correct.
that we put into work. I think we got a good setup here, and looking forward to continuing to just kind of enhance the show as we go. Keep building value for people.
So where is this available now? And if they're not listening live right now, or you can find it on Great Bend Post too. So
the best place to catch it live, other than on the air, to catch the live video is going to be on the Eagle Communications YouTube channel.
Wow.
So just search for. You could probably just go on and search for Sports Day on YouTube and see what pops up there too. But
we're the only ones.
That's right.
So and then the archive broadcasts. That have been very
will be up on the sports section at Great Bend Post.
Man.
Yeah.
This is it's been a technological. I was 10 years old when we landed on the moon, and I thought, that was really, really cool. And then it really hit me how far we've advanced when Saturday. What was it, Saturday? I can't remember what day it is because, this long break and everything. So the son's in Poland, right? So we went up to his house in Junction City. He needed needed me to change the batteries out on his cameras that he's got around. It's like Fort Knox, right? So as I'm putting it on, it was sitting on I just put the batteries back in. Now I'm trying to put the thing, and this voice came on from nowhere.
Thanks, Dad.
No, he said, make sure you don't break that when you put it. And I immediately fell to my knees, and I looked to the sky, and I said, God,
It's coming to an end.
yeah, he just saw that someone was on his... from Poland. He's
From
given
Poland,
me
yeah.
instructions on how to install it so I don't break his camera mount on his patio. And now we have this.
And now with the live stream, everyone can provide you that service. So.
And again, it made me think, who needs a tweeter phone? I'll just get a doorbell ringer and carry around with me all the time. And if I need to get a hold of him, I'll just hit that doorbell.
Steve, you need Air 3. You need to put that in program.
Well, I appreciate you doing all this. And you know, when you wanted to bring Sports Day back, you want to do it really special. And then, you know, we got Mike Corson's on the prowl all the time. We've got the former TV man, now radio pioneer.
Oh, yeah, these guys got ideas.
I know, and I just sit over here and I just talk and do the radio thing of it and just hope that they're always going to be here for the
Well,
show.
So every kite's got to have a string, Webby. Just make sure that their ideas aren't too far-fetched.
Every kite has to have
That's
a
a
string.
good one. I like that.
Well, okay, we'll see how this goes, and it's going to be awesome.
All right, hey, thanks.
Thank you. One and only Matt Althouse setting us up. We are streaming live.
This is sharper video than we've ever had.
I thought that the cameras, we got a new camera. That's going to help too. So Webby turns around and looks at the camera.
And suck my gut in at the same time. And we can move that thing out. So
It has I have a remote control, and I'm going to sit there. I can zoom in on Corson or zoom in on you.
So
or,
we can bring the electric football game back.
Yeah, we can zoom right in. Oh, it would be cool.
Instant replay?
Well, we're not quite there yet. But we're hopefully in time, we're going to get graphics. You know, we have a gentleman in Hayes who's going to make his graphics so we can.
Graphics.
Graphics. Well, like when we have Cindy Beck in or Gerard Wilbrock, instead of just staring at maybe a studio, we can have a graphic of them up instead. So,
Man.
that will be in time. We're getting there. And thanks to Michael Quaid from Smoky Hills Public Television and USD 431 and his own business. He's the one that kind of helped Matt and I figure out what we needed.
Smoke Bee Hills.
Smoky Hills
Okay,
Public
okay.
Television.
All right, perfect. This is before we get there, sounds past 25. I don't know if I was glad to hear from my son, but on the other hand, I thought, gosh, I felt like Noah.
I kind of shared the same experience at my daughter's house over Christmas. They got an Alexa, and all they got to do is say, turn off the lights, and the Christmas lights go off. And I'm
dadgummit
going,
thing,
what the heck is going on? I know we're old-fashioned. Of course,
We're going to have flying cars here before
it's
long.
just laughing at us going, you old guys.
How can you do that? I mean, isn't he supposed to be out fighting the Russians or something? He's looking to make sure someone's not screwing up his camera mount on his. Okay.
Sounds like they get good Wi-Fi in Poland.
They sure do. They really, really do. Okay.
I would have liked to see your face when you heard the voice.
Well, I knew that capability was there. I didn't think he was going to pop in, monitoring, see how it's screwing things up. Yeah, don't just slide that over. You'll break it. Okay, a lot of things to get into. On the program today, Cole Reif will be in, voice of the Barton Cougars. Barton jumps right back into conference action tomorrow as they will head to Pancake Town to take on Seward County. Also on the show today, Jim Mizunas is going to stop by, so we'll recap, look ahead to the high school seasons that get underway tonight with games throughout the area. You can check out the schedule. We'll go over it a little bit later on in the program here on Sports Day. Okay, it was an unbelievable sports week. I mean, 2 weeks is my favorite time of the year. Great football games, and then we're going to have it all culminate last night with the Cincinnati Bengals and Buffalo Bills to find out who was going to win that game, whether the Chiefs are going to have the number one seed, and at least right now the Chiefs still have the number one seed because that game has not been finished yet. That was Joe Buck last night on ESPN with a recap of those frightening events. Damar Hamlin still in critical condition after he suffered a cardiac arrest on the field where they were going to load him in the ambulance, then they put him back down and performed, life-saving CPR measures on him to keep him alive. And, man, that's just kind of put a bummer on the end of it. But, again, whatever you do, never know what can happen, man. So anyway, we'll continue to watch that. I checked, I don't know, about 11:30. I don't know, has the NFL made any decision on if that game's going to be made up? Or it's kind of weird right now because you're at the end of the season, and these are decisions that need to be made. But then, of course, in respect to the family and what's taking place, you don't want to come right out there, okay, this is what's going to happen. Now, they did not finish the game. I can see why. I mean, it's not like someone getting taken off in a concussion. You don't know if the guy's going to live or not. But that was a very interesting move last night to stop the game, basically, and now we're in limbo. So, anyway, our prayers with Damar Hamlin. Okay, the call on the Chiefs radio network. Yes? Okay, anything else? Okay. And as Mike and me were talking this morning, how do you... I know that, Mike, you said that, well, we don't know what to say but I guess that is their job, but it's to describe a football game. It's really not to try to do that. They're going to the sideline anyway.
Yeah, we had a couple discussions downstairs about that whole situation. So, yeah, we disagree. I'm with you. How do you can't talk during that situation?
But what do? You got to fill time. So what have you done when there's been an injury in a high school basketball game and you could hear a pin drop on the other side? I mean,
the one incident
we'll take it back to the station, and they're going to play commercials because
I had one incident where I remember was in Maxville, and a young lady hit she hit her head hard, and she was concussed, and I bet it was 15, 20 minutes, and I think I reiterated what happened several times, took several breaks, but as you say, there's not a word, nobody's saying anything, so everybody in the arena can hear you.
Well, everybody on the radio can hear you, but it's weird. It's different.
It's different when they know, when the people next to you are looking at you going, you're still talking?
Yeah. I hate quiet gyms. It's not. Fort Hays would always play out at Regis. And it'd be like a Saturday afternoon game. There'd be no one there. And they had a hot dog machine on the other side. It's a little small gym. And it had like a bearing going out. I never fixed it, but you could hear that thing. So somebody go to the free throw line, you'd hear that hot dog machine on the other side of the floor go, and you'd almost want to whisper. And now, here's Johnson getting ready for the free throw.
You have to hope for a blowout game.
Well, it's a close game. You can help your own team. You voice the Tigers, man. You get up there and say, miss it! Just as she's getting ready to shoot it. Okay. The call on B1043, The Point, on Sunday. That was 2 days ago, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Chiefs.
You had to think about it. Yes, Kansas City. Jerick McKinnon scoring on a touchdown. He's had 8 TDs in the last 4 games. I wonder who has him in fantasy football. That gave the Chiefs a 27-17 lead on the Broncos in the fourth quarter. And as always, the Chiefs give up a touchdown, and then Kansas City has to go and try to pick up a first down. So the other team doesn't get the ball back, which they didn't do. Denver had some time on the clock. Kansas City wins 27-24. I was really hoping the Chiefs would win that game because I really didn't want to come on here after basically, I made fun of the Broncos last week. Chiefs aren't playing good right now. Their life in the playoffs is going to be very, very short no matter where they're playing unless they start going a little bit.
I was asked if we were going to discuss the terrible officiating in the Chiefs-Broncos
game. Bring it on. Okay, what were they complaining about?
I don't know.
No, my son-in-law, yeah, he came over there too, and I was telling him that that they threw Russell Wilson to the ground. They should have blown it dead before that time.
And then there was a pass interference call on Cortland Sutton that they all were kind of going off on. So.
Illegal hands to the face on 3rd and long for the Chiefs. It just said, come on. Is that what it's gone down to?
It goes both ways.
A couple times Wilson was wrapped up, and if you blow the whistle that he doesn't get a pass, at some point, you're going to have to play football.
Oh, yeah, that's the reason.
Well, on Trading Post...
I will say this on Trading Post. Here we go. Okay, all right.
The guy wanted to play flag football. He goes, when are we going to put flags on them? And that's all we're going to play is flag football.
Well, that's a whole nother topic. But as I was talking with this Bronco fan, very passionate. They've got Russell Wilson, right? What are they going to do with it? You saw what they can do with him. They just need they need to run the football and run the boot, and then you can survive with Russell Wilson. They've got the pieces in place on that defense. I think they're on the right track if you're going to keep Russell Wilson, which they really don't have any choice right now. Kansas City does win it. Their game, as Hash likes to, has been flexed.
It's a TV term. They flexed out to Saturday.
Yeah. Hash was in there yesterday morning. I was like, the NFL's flexed that game, by the way.
I just wanted to know if you knew that, because I know you update the play-by-play schedule on GreatBendPost.com.
Flexed the schedule out.
Okay, they moved to the darn game.
Okay, it's going to be on 3:30 on Saturday. So there's the latest news. And then, of course, we'll wait and see. We're going to make up the Broncos or the Bengals and Bills game, which has a little bit of significance. Especially
The fact that was a Monday night game and they both play Sunday, I think if they'd played Sunday, you could have maybe flexed it to Tuesday. But with the Monday game, you're looking at Wednesday already.
Well, you're going to move a whole week of the NFL season back for...
Can't see him.
Woo! All right. Call Saturday right here on KVGB, coverage from ESPN. Deuce Vaughn scoring on an 88-yard touchdown run in the Sugar Bowl. And last night, he announced that he will enter the 2023 NFL Draft. I don't think that's any surprise at all, but Bryce Young was getting all the hype, which was really cool that he came back, had a great game, 3 for 5 touchdowns, 321 yards, that he came back and played and didn't opt out. But we really didn't hit on that a little bit, as much with Deuce Vaughn, because we should have figured he was going out. I mean, if you're a little running back, and plus, how much money did he make on that 88-yard scamper? If anyone's wondering on his speed, he probably picked up a little bit, but he ends his career ranked third in all-purpose yards, 4,884.
They should have stopped the game right after that run, 10-0. And then the other thing, Bryce Young, like Aaron Clark had said, last week, these are marquee players. They're already 1-2 maybe in the draft, so they don't have anything to gain. They have something to lose. Those first couple series, you're like, oh, man, he made a mistake playing in this game. And then he just started
He may have made his,
dimes.
I think he made himself, maybe the number 1 overall pick in the draft coming up. Kansas State ends up going to lose that game. TCU, the call, they got that first quarter pass, interception return, pick 6. They end up upsetting Michigan in the Fiesta Bowl 51-45. They'll play Georgia in Monday's national championship game. The Dogs rallied to beat Ohio State 42-41 in the Peach Bowl. You heard the call here on KVGB as Bud Clark returning that. Also, Stetson Bennett finding Adonai Mitchell for a 10-yard TD pass. That put Georgia ahead by 1, and then Ohio State ends up missing a long field goal.
And they're talking on game day how difficult Ohio State can be, even for a coach that's something like, 32-5? His job might be on the line. So you have the kicker who missed the potential game winner there. I was like, it's going to be a long weekend for that guy.
And Ohio State can probably feel okay. I mean, I don't think, they played great. I mean, had a chance to win the game. Had the lead in the second half. If you're Michigan, what are you thinking? What were they doing in the first half? I don't know. I was listening to the game. They're like 17 of 19 on fourth down conversions, and they run some reverse play that loses 8 yards. They came out throwing the ball all over the field, and man, TCU's got to act. And all I heard all day 3-5, the
Big
3-5. Yeah, the Big 12. What's this defense? They can make some plays in space. They made some big plays in that game. Tackles for loss, things like that got them to win. But, man, I thought Michigan's overall strategy a little bit screwed up in that game.
And the Big Ten was kind of down this year. So you had everything hinging on the Michigan-Ohio State game. So we kind of forget Ohio State was really good until they lost to Michigan, and Michigan was maybe questionable until they beat Ohio State. And then you have the results from this week, and you're like, well, we put a lot of stock into that one Big Ten championship.
You watch the Cotton Bowl, the end of that? Woo! Corey Glore. The extra point that gave Tulane the win over USC, 46-45. I'm going to do that again because I'm sure that this perked the ears of Lyles Lashley.
9 seconds left on the clock. Extra point for the lead. Hudak to snap.
Hudak. It just got the other. Hudak the center.
Well, and you wore your Tulane shirt
for Tulane.
today,
Yeah, I did.
Wore my Alabama shirt.
In honor of the Green Wave. The call on Brian Haney on Hits 106.9 Saturday. I forgot about this game. I was like, I wonder how KU's doing. Oh, they're down by 4 points. It was worse than that. Kevin McCullough hitting a three-pointer that gave KU the lead. They hang on to beat Oklahoma State 69-67. They play Texas Tech tonight in Lubbock. McCullough goes home, a transfer from Texas Tech. We'll have that game here because Larned playing tonight on Hits 106.9. So coverage on KVGB starting at 7:30 tonight. K-State, they play at Texas tonight after they had their own amazing comeback on Saturday at Bramlage. They came back to beat West Virginia, who's also lost last night in their game to Oklahoma State. But anyway, K-State winning in overtime. They're at Texas tonight. And the call on Learfield, Cam Spencer making a three-point shot. Rutgers upsets number 1 ranked Purdue last night, 65-64.
So I heard that Rutgers has twice beat a number 1 team, and that's Purdue back-to-back years.
Back-to-back years, yeah, how about that? There you go, sounds the past 24 hours or so. We will run down the high school schedule, some of the matchups. Hoisington and Mike Hesher returns to the microphone tonight. We'll get a preview of that game, look at the rest of the high school schedule. Coming up, Cole Rife, Cougars, back in action tomorrow at Seward. Also, Jim Mizuno stopping by here on your live streaming Sports Day show on KVGB and we're at YouTube, yeah.
Eagle Communications.
Or you could search Sports Day.
Or you can watch it
1590.
later, yeah, on grapeinpost.com. Holy smokes. Did you know that you can talk to somebody in Poland on a doorbell ringer? Holy cow. More Sports Day coming up.
When you need to get rid of the pain, you want the best. You need to see Dr. Dan Quillen at Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Dr. Dan is Barton County's only board-certified clinical specialist in orthopedic physical therapy. No matter your age, when it hurts, he will help. And after a year in business, Dr. Luke Criley has joined the practice. He is a physical therapist that also offers dry needling. Excellence-driven, unrivaled results. Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Inside the Fieldhouse, 2817 9th Street, Great Bend.
The need for nurses is constant. Barton Community College offers practical and registered nursing programs. The affordable and challenging coursework is taught by experienced instructors who care about you and have a passion for teaching in the field of nursing. Get hands-on training in the classroom, state-of-the-art simulation labs, and at clinical sites for this high-demand field. The priority application deadline is January 31st. Apply online at nursing.bartonccc.edu.
Minor sickness or injury doesn't always happen during your doctor's regular office hours. So when you need care, the team at the University of Kansas Health System Convenient Care Walk-In Clinic is available for you. Walk in 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. No appointment needed. Let the experienced team at the Convenient Care Walk-In Clinic at St. Rose Medical Pavilion care for you. Learn more at kansashealthsystem.com/Great Bend.
Dr. Nels here with Animal Medical Center, and 13 years ago we set upon a venture of putting in some core values in place. Fast forward to today, we stand and live by and are convicted with our core values so that we can have a miraculous team of people working to better serve you all, every single person. And we live by them every single day. They're non-negotiable. Our people live by them, and you'll notice it when you walk in the door. We look forward to you coming in, come visiting us, let us better serve you. Take care and have a great rest of the year.
Animal Medical Center, just south of 10th and McKinley in Great Bend.
He's the voice of Hoisington High School football, the Barton County Cougars, and the king of the tweeter machine. It's Cole Rife on Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
New Year. Cole Rife coming in with just a bag full of New Year's resolutions and everything else. Right?
What are your 2023 goals? My wife tried to do that, I don't know, sometime this past weekend. She's like, okay, we're going to have a family meeting. I was like,
oh, no.
I was like, okay. It's like, yeah, let's write down our 2023 goals. So we started with a 2-year-old. His is getting potty trained.
All right, that's good.
The 5-year-old wants to do more farming. And I think we, as a family, we want to go see the ocean. And something else was in there. But anyway, then she's like, okay, what are your goals, Cole? I'm like, I don't know. I'll have to get back to you. So those are still lingering right now as far as what my goals are going to be for the year. But we have some family goals set out.
Those are that are fun goals.
Yeah, I think we want to catch a Royals game as a family, things like that. So.
Well, that's a great idea. I like that.
Yeah, so they're written down.
Ones that you, I don't know. I think Steve Divis this morning on the Friends of the Show said he just wanted to drink more in 2023.
That could be a goal.
It can be more attainable. Hey, I just want you to know that I'm following the Jayhawk Conference now. We get into conference play, but a non-conference game between Northwest Tech and the Goodland Ballers was postponed. So the records that are on GreatBendPost.com are accurate.
Well, I was really...
They said it's postponed due to weather. I didn't know if there's anything going on or just...
How does that get postponed? I mean, isn't Goodland and Northwest Tech?
That's
like,
exactly
was there extreme travel between the...
I don't know. I was thinking the same thing. I was trying to look for it. Is it postponed due to weather?
No,
that was on the tweeter machine for Northwest Tech.
I had joked to somebody else, because they play Hutchinson tomorrow. So I was like, man, I bet Tommy DeSalm is traveling out to Goodland right now to get the good scouting reports on this big Northwest Tech Goodland Ballers matchup, which by the way is actually an improvement for Northwest Tech, and they're an improved team. They're an improved team, but it's also an improvement because they played the Goodland Ballers twice last year and counted it on their schedule for wins.
Well, weren't they going to this year? It was on their regular schedule.
Just once though. They were only going to play once this year.
Okay.
They played them twice. I think they played them right before Christmas last year. Then they played them right before the New Year last year. They played them twice in like a 2-week stretch, and it counted for 2 wins.
Isn't Northeastern Colorado out there in the same area? I mean, that'd be a good game to get for non-con. But so that game. So their record 3-5 in conference play, 7-6 overall. So I just wanted to get was that a home and home last year with the Goodland?
We were trying to figure out where the Goodland Ballers play, because actually the Goodland Ballers will go as far as Colby. I've seen the Goodland Ballers in Colby after Barton has played Colby, usually on that Sunday. It's men's league right afterwards in Colby, and I've seen the Goodland Ballers in person travel to Colby to compete in the men's league there at the community building.
Okay, no Goodland Ballers for the Barton Cougars tomorrow night as the Cougars take on Seward County. Women's game, the 22nd ranked Lady Cougars, 12-2, 6-2, taking on Seward, 9-6, 7-2. And before the Christmas, last week said, man, I'm ready to go. Well, it's almost here. So big games coming up for both the men and women tomorrow night down in Liberal.
Yeah, I think start on the women's side. I think the Seward County women have kind of been overlooked. They're 9-6 on the season, so you're like, oh, okay, they're down. But I mean, you look at who they play. They started out the season with a trip out to New Mexico, took on Odessa in their first game of the season, lost that. Then they lost to New Mexico, who's nationally ranked. The former Seward coach is now at New Mexico, so he's down there. They're nationally ranked. He lost to Trinity Valley, who spent time at number 1 in the poll. They came in before Christmas and played there in Liberal, lost by 8 points, had them on the ropes, chance to beat them. Then you took on a couple of good teams right after that, including Tyler College just this past Sunday. They've been busy. They played 4 games non-conference before Christmas, then right after Christmas here this past weekend. So they've been really, really busy. But before they went into that non-conference stretch, they won 4 straight conference games. They're a half game ahead of Barton in the standings, sitting at 7-2. So you talk about a big-time matchup right out of the gate to start out 2023. This is it. And like we said before, I think before Christmas, the Liberal is that place. I haven't seen a win on the women's side. This is the only gym, I think, in the Jayhawk that I haven't seen a win for one of the Barton teams. I think the men I've seen pretty much win everywhere. Coffeyville maybe. I can't remember. I think we've gotten a win at Coffeyville since I've taken over. But the women, Seward County, the Greenhouse is the only place that I haven't seen a win. The last one was 2012. So you were the last broadcaster to go into Greenhouse and come out with a win.
Wow. Okay. I wish I remembered that game so I could tell you. Okay, the men's side. We'll talk about that in a minute. There's so many teams that just seem the same. Okay, on the women's side, you got Dodge City, Seward, Barton, Coffeyville, Butler. Can I even dare ask, is Hutchinson not part of that mix at the top on the women's side?
I think they will be when it's all said and done. Now, they went through a slump. They're 5-4 in conference play, 11-4 overall. But I think Hutch will continue to get better. I could see Hutch leapfrogging Butler. We saw the surge of Cloud. Now they've faded. And I think that might be kind of a trend when they're going to be still in the mix, but they'll probably be middle of the pack. Dodge is legit, which is setting up a sweet matchup for January 14th. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday here in Great Bend on the women's side between Dodge and Barton. Obviously, the men's side will have some good flavor as well. But but looking at the standings, I mean, I think all those ones are going to be right in the thick of it. So yeah, it's this thick right now. But these two, you got Seward County tomorrow night on the road, and then you play number 1 Dodge City a week and a half later. So we got some good ones coming up.
Okay, on the men's side of things, Cougar men shown they beat anybody, but they also lose to anybody. 9-5 overall, 4-4. Seward 4-5 in conference play, 8-7 overall.
Yeah, I think these are two similar teams. Just trying to find their way. I mean, Barton has that slight edge. Obviously, their record just a little bit better, but in conference-wise, these two teams are pretty much in the same position, trying to figure things out. And for Seward County, you look at some of the things they've done poorly. They've given up a lot of points. So I think they're ranked 11th in the Jayhawk Conference in most points given up. They're surrendering about 82 a game. So I think this is one of those chances where Barton has you look at the games they succeeded at when they were out and run and pour on points, like that game at Hutchinson, the game at home against Independence where they went over 100 points. And then those last 4 games in December, they were held down. They were held in check. So I think this tomorrow night will be an opportunity. Not saying it's going to be a gimme, but it'll be an opportunity, I think, for Barton to thrive a little bit and get out and run and score some points. And that's where guys like Cougar Downing are even better when they're out in transition, getting open threes and things of that nature. So I think this is a good matchup, but at the same time, this is still a big one for two teams that are really similarly matched.
We're getting close to halfway mark. I mean, you're seeing teams that now, okay, people are getting a look at them. I mean, when the Cougar men roll into town, this is what you're going to see from the opponent trying to do to them, especially defensively.
Yeah, I think it's to suffocate up top. We've seen teams trying to go one-on-one, I think, a lot with Joey. I mean, because you look at, Joey's still that guy that gets glossed over a little bit. But you look at his numbers, he's averaging 18 points and 10 rebounds a game. I mean, you're like, man, this is a huge, huge threat. And then I think still scouting reports are kind of like, I think number 1, take out Cougar. I mean, make sure he doesn't get going. And then, number 2, you try to slow down Mose a little bit, but he's so steady-handed. Like, he's just kind of solid anywhere he goes. So, I think if you pressure Barton and force him to shoot outside, 3-point field goal percentage still hasn't been great. They're at 30% on the season from outside. That ranks 10th out of 13. So those are things that definitely have to get better. They've held their own defensively. I thought defensively kept them in those last 4 games for the most part and gave them a chance to win, but still obviously ended up on the wrong side. But, yeah, the offense just has to get going. I mean, that's as simple as it is. I mean, you look at Butler, they scored 56 points and won, in that last game. You won against Pratt, but scored 72. Cloud, you're held to 57. At Coffeyville, you're held to 77. So, yeah, eventually the offense needs to get going, and hopefully, a few weeks off, everyone's refreshed and kind of has a new plan of attack to get after it in the new year.
What's the deal with Hutch? Because you look at their record right now, they're 4-5, and one of those wins is at Dodge. So,
yeah, the only team to beat Dodge in conference.
Is this like just a pack of teams that we don't know who's going to finally come out on top?
I was having a talk with someone else. I really feel like Dodge, Coffeyville, and Cloud have set the mark for those top 3 spots. I think those 3 are legit. I mean, and all 3 of those are nationally ranked. Then you have Barton still receiving votes, Garden City's receiving votes, Butler's receiving votes. But I think your top team, Dodge, Coffeyville, then Cloud, probably in that order, are on a different level than everybody else. That 4th spot, you can flip a coin or you can, paper, rock, scissors, like whatever you want to do for that 4th spot. Those 3 are legit. Hutchinson, 4-5 in conference play. They won their last 2 games of the first semester, but it's a team that maybe doesn't have as much talent, but also I think teams are just figuring out the riddle a little bit more, like handling that pressure. Like we said, there's some special teams that Tommy had at the end of his career in Cali, and in his first year last year in Hutchinson. This year's team, they're not hitting as good of a clip from outside, and when you put up 40+ threes a game, you better hit at least close to 25 or 30% consistently. So I think teams are starting to handle that pressure, and if you could have the capability of getting out and run, which I thought went right in the wheelhouse of Barton when they played at the Sports Arena, you're going to have a chance.
Yeah, on the men's side, you look, of course, Seward, you're playing him down there, but and you get a win tomorrow night down there on the men's side, and then you look at Northwest Tech and Colby your next 2 games. There you go. You get a chance to get on a little roll.
Yeah, this is a really important stretch. I'm not saying, you're just going to rip off 3 straight, but, you have a chance to win these next 3 games to put up your record of 7-4 before, obviously, the big matchup at home against Dodge City. And then you go to the repeat mode. You go to the second time around, starting up on the 18th with the home game against Garden City. And we talked about it before, it was so heavy on the road stretch in the first semester, and even these first 3 games, 2 of your first 3 are going to be on the road to start out this new year. It's not going to say the competition's going to get any easier, but you're at least going to be playing them at home. So that's going to be nice, especially in the month of February, even midway through the month of January. You're going to get a lot of home games. So that's going to be nice for Barton. You're going to see some good teams come in, but at least they're going to be here in Great Bend.
Cole, great job. Have fun tomorrow, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, we'll do. Thanks,
Cole
sir.
Reif with us on Sports Day. Jim Mizunas standing by. He got the memo today. It's Green Day here in the Sports Day studio. Back with more after this.
Venture Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction. They have quite a few jobs scheduled for the new year, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Reif, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
When it's time to replace your old windows and doors, call your local Pella certified contractor, Empire Improvements. With a full line of Pella windows and door options, including affordable vinyl, durable fiberglass, and luxurious wood, Empire Improvements has an option for any taste or budget. No matter what Pella window or door you choose, you'll know it was installed right by a Pella trained and certified contractor. For the best warranty in the business, call Empire Improvements in Great Bend today at 620-603-0872.
Let technology bring you closer this holiday season to loved ones near and far. With unlimited data as low as $25 a month, you can get the phone you want with the features you need from the best people. Next Tech Wireless, keeping Kansans connected.
He's a veteran of high school and college sports coverage in Kansas. Sports Day presents the Great Bend Tribune's Jim Mizunas.
Yes, sir. Jim Mizunas in with us here as high school basketball getting underway again. You make your way to New Orleans, or did you settle in the home confines, Jimbo?
Yeah, we settled in the home confines and had several relatives, including our youngest son who went down there. Had enjoyed the festivities and enjoyed the drive. The couple of them flew, but they drove on down. They like to enjoy and stop at a place where you can settle in and put a couple dollars on the line.
Yeah, okay, I see that. So your thoughts on K-State? I thought they got out to the start they needed, but then Alabama, man, some big things happened right at the end of the first half that completely changed that game. Then you have the onside kick to start the second half. If you get it, you're a genius. If you don't, well, I don't know if we should have given Alabama the ball right there, but there's certainly Chris Klein was trying to get the momentum back at that point. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed.
No, it was. It's amazing how the game, and you saw that with the semifinal games too. Boy, those games can switch momentum so quickly. And you saw it yesterday. USC's got that game won. Hey, let's run shotgun from our own 1 yard line.
Yes,
boy,
and you
that's a good plan. Oklahoma, the USC coach, he's the most overrated coach there is in college football. He does classic bonehead stuff like that. It just makes short yardage situation. I don't care what level it is. Do not run shotgun on short yardage. Boom. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a bad plan. I can give you more than half of the time they don't make it. And it's just a bad situation, especially from your own 1 yard line. But anyway, getting back to K-State, that game boils down to, again, even in a game where they lose by 3 touchdowns, it boils down to 2 or 3 plays. K-State had decided somewhere during the course of scouting, hey, let's not put any pressure on this All-American Heisman Trophy candidate. So on Alabama's first touchdown, he's got 10 seconds to throw the ball. So what are you deciding to do? Put pressure on him so he throws it quick? Or, no, let's let this Heisman Trophy guy just wander around for 10 seconds. Well, guess what happened? He beat K-State's defense time and time again. But the first touchdown I thought was critical because K-State could have been up 7-3. I think Alabama would have kicked a field goal. And, it went from there. And then they got down to the goal line. I think it was a great call and a good plan. But who would have thought that Alabama would go 98 yards on the next?
And I think
in a minute.
They were happy, I think, just to run it into halftime.
No, Alabama would have.
And then K-State took the timeout, and then they thought, well, okay. Well,
but I think K-State's pass defense was totally related to the fact that they were rushing 3 guys most times. It didn't work. And then finally, late in the game, I think it was Alabama's last touchdown. Hey, let's rush 9 guys. Well, it was a touchdown pass, too, but, the water had gone down the river at that point.
How about the kid from Colby, though, getting in there and scoring the touchdown?
Yeah, that was great.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was
his first carry that he's ever had at Kansas State, and he's from Colby, and he gets a touchdown.
Yeah, no, that was great. But, yeah, that game got away from K-State just simply because of their pass defense and lack of pressure on the quarterback. But, yeah, the onside kick made no sense. I mean, K-State had outplayed them, and they get one more play. They're up 2 scores at halftime possibly. And, then the game got away from them because Alabama scores 3 touchdowns in like 4 minutes. So, turnover after – basically the onside kick's a turnover because you're losing field position. Then they do turn the ball over with an interception. Alabama gets 3 touchdowns in like 3 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. And, then basically the game was over. But, Alabama's talent, particularly at quarterback and wide receiver, was really outstanding. And not a surprise. Not a surprise at all.
Bryce Young got a lot of hype, as he should have, for coming back and playing in the bowl game. Anderson was the same thing. But I guess we should have known that was the last game for Deuce Vaughn. I mean, he's not very big. Your career in the NFL is not going to be very long. I guess we should have figured that out, that, he came back. And, again, as I said to begin the show, that 88-yard touchdown run probably got him a little bit extra money, too. He showed some bursts there, but – it's the way it goes in college football these days, man. You have them, and then they're gone. But what a career at Kansas State for Deuce Vaughn.
Oh, yeah, no question. He's without a doubt one of the greatest players in Kansas State history, and such an exciting player because it tells everybody who's watching Kansas State or Deuce, you can compete. You got to be strong. You got to be elusive. You got to be quick. You got to be tough. And there's no back in the Big 12 who was tougher than Deuce. I was always impressed when he took on, here comes a linebacker. Guess who blocked him? Deuce Vaughn. Here's Knowles on a side reverse. Guess who's blocking? Deuce Vaughn. Deuce was an all-around good, tough football player. Yeah, so it's fun to see that he'll certainly have some opportunities. He won't get drafted that high, but, somebody will pick him up.
Darren Sproles had a nice career, didn't he? Yeah, so
I think was he number 2 or 3 all time with all-purpose yards?
He ended up number 3.
Yeah, I was going to say he was getting up there. And
so what, Bishop in I don't know. I should have looked that up, but find out who was number 1. I don't know if Sproles.
But look at those bowl games, man. There's been some outstanding bowl games. It's just
it's been fun. Yeah,
it has been fun, and particularly just like in Alabama's case, you play with who shows up. They don't show up. Guess what? You ain't playing, and we'll just show up with who we got and play, and it's amazing how that works out. But, that Tulane victory over Southern Cal, that was good. I was glad to see that because all we hear is Cincinnati can't compete, Tulane can't compete, TCU can't compete. Well, guess what? They do compete. They don't always win, but, hey, those teams did very, very well.
I think that Georgia game might be entertaining. I don't think TCU's got what it takes to knock Georgia off.
No, they didn't have what it should have taken for Michigan. You can get a couple pick sixes, and that's what it'll take. It'll take something weird happening because talent-wise, they don't match up, and quarterback-wise, they may not quite match up, but they're very well coached, and they're fast. They got a lot of speed. So
yeah, the Denstedt's a better. They've been wanting him to get out of the starting lineup for 3 years now.
Oh yeah, So it's fun. It's fun to have TCU in there because again, that's the first Big 12 team that's won a playoff game. Maybe is that the first team that's won? Might be.
It's the first time that the Big 12 team's been in the championship. Yeah, since the college football
current
playoff.
Format. Yeah, and with 12 teams, it'll even be more fun when we get going with that. So certainly Georgia's got a huge advantage. Ohio State had every chance to beat them, and basically didn't get the job done at the end of the game. So,
a couple big matchups tonight in the Big 12 basketball-wise. Kansas at Texas Tech. And Kansas State, finally, they're 41. They're ranked 30th this week. People have been sleeping on a Kansas State team with Jerome Tang. They've got some players that can play.
They've got a better one.
This will be a good matchup tonight against Texas down at Austin. It's not at the Hat anymore. They've got a brand new arena down there. So we're going to find out a lot about Kansas State tonight. Wouldn't surprise me if they won. Kansas going to Lubbock. I don't know. It's a crapshoot when they go down there, flip a coin in past years.
It's amazing for Kansas basketball. The biggest game for every team in the Big 12 is when Kansas comes to town. And it makes it fun. And what it does is it gives Kansas a huge advantage over most every team in the country, outside of maybe North Carolina Duke, who faces Kentucky perhaps. But Kansas gets everybody's best shot when they go on the road. So that's what really gets them ready for postseason play.
I think so. So those games both start at 8 o'clock tonight. The KU game is on ESPN2, and you can hear it on Hits 10 or right here on KVGB tonight. Remember, Larned is on Hits tonight. And then Kansas State, hey, if you go out and buy the Longhorn Network, there it is, available at 8 o'clock. Are they going to be able to keep that Longhorn Network after they join the SEC?
Yeah, I don't know. It might be. The SEC might have some questions about that. But, yeah, it's worked out well for Texas. Maybe not on the field of play, but it's worked out pretty well financially. But by the way, congratulations on winning the Kansas City Chiefs Pick'em contest. That you just are flawless. You win that this year.
What did I say the record was going to be?
I think it was going to be 3. Was it 3?
I had them losing 4. I think.
Yeah, but that's okay. I
don't want them to lose that one.
No, they won't. And I picked 5. I figured they'd lose to Denver or the Raiders and Buffalo and Cincinnati, and so I had them for 5 losses.
How many games did Hesher have them losing?
I think he had them losing 7.
7. Okay,
yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, high school basketball getting going again tonight. I think we look around. I mean, Great Bend doesn't start until Friday when Garden City's in. Garden City's got a nice team. I've seen them. I saw them play against Wichita East a little bit. They've got a nice club, so that's going to be on Friday night. Ellenwood and Central Plains playing tonight. That's kind of changed a little bit on who the team is that you think's going to win that game. But I guess as you look ahead here, especially first 2 weeks out of the gate, what are you looking at as far as area high school stuff, Jim?
Well, certainly Ellenwood and Maxville boys have gotten off to great starts. And the Central Plains girls, they'll still be there at the end. I think they'll still be very competitive. They're still well coached. And the Central Prairie is down a little bit on the girls' side. So I think the Central Plains girls will be fine. For Great Bend boys, this is pretty much the biggest game they'll play maybe the rest of the season. You got Garden City coming in 7-0, and Great Bend's at home. So it's a game that, hey, you got to take care of your home court, and then you got a shot in the league race. But
and then
based on what they did with Emporia, they got a great shot. Coach Kyle Cray has done very nice adjustments in just 6-7 games. A couple times they've shot too many threes. They haven't worked the ball inside. They haven't used transition. Then they did all those. They used transition. They kicked the ball in, kicked it out. Much better three-point percentage when you do that. And they've run the court. They've done a nice job of that. You got to use your athleticism. If you're going to play as many guys as Great Bend does, that's what you got to do. Now, on the girls' side, it's a game they really need to win, too, because obviously Liberal's going to be the team to beat. And outside of that, Dodge is down.
Hayes is pretty good.
Hayes will still be competitive. But, amazingly enough, Great Bend girls have beaten Hayes 2 years in a row, at the end of the season. So there's nothing like Great Bend and Hayes when they play, and it doesn't matter whether it's baseball, basketball, wrestling, football. Great Bend and Hayes is just a special game, no matter what sport it is.
Yeah, that's going to be a pretty good stretch because you got Garden City coming in here, and then a Hayes at the Fieldhouse a week from tonight.
Oh yeah, it's going to be.
Then you close it out at Bueller. So this will.
Oh yeah, it's a nice opening stretch in January for Great Bend because it'll be fun to see, especially based on the Emporia game. That's the funnest home 2 games in basketball I've seen in years. It was so much fun that the crowd was involved. Of course, the band is always great.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of fun to see. So Great Bend, they're building up a nice little home court advantage, which I think will play out Friday night. And then Great Bend Wrestling gets going Thursday against Pratt. And they've got several state-ranked wrestlers, Skylar McMullen, Jace Sharts, Cooper Lyles, Matthew Johnson on the boys' side, and Daisy Gomez on the girls' side. So they get going again Thursday night at home with Pratt dual meet.
Jim, we'll see you next Monday.
Okay.
Okay, Jim Mizuna's with us, Great Bend Tribune. You got the memo today. It's Green Day here in here. I've got the long sleeve green shirt. Jim's going with the short sleeve today. More Sports Day after this.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
Hi, my name is Dalton Jones, a patient that I helped. She came in with chronic back pain that she'd been having for years. After several weeks of showing her exercises, several different interventions, we were able to get her back to where she can do her shopping without leaning on the shopping cart at all.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
Farmers depend on their equipment, and equipment depends on its fuel. Cenex Premium Diesel works as hard as you do and comes with a more complete additive package for a more complete burn. Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster even cleans up your injectors and prevents injector fouling, so your equipment can keep firing on all cylinders to make every day a field day. Cenex Premium Diesel. Diesel that doesn't mess around.
Contact American Plains Co-op in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today.
It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
You know how good Foreigner sounded in a souped-up Super Beetle Volkswagen with these big giant speakers in the back, man? I'm telling you what, that was a heck of a car. That was my car in college, man. What are you talking about?
You were talking about technology. I bought a smart speaker, and it Bluetooths to my computer and my phone. It sounds great.
No.
Yes. I just walk around my house. I just carry it wherever I go. It's fantastic.
What do you listen to?
I stream 1590 and 104.3 The Point, and also a couple stations out of Kansas City.
All right.
I like to listen to music, but, I hate to say this, but 1590 seems to be out there quite a bit.
Yeah, well, it's the talk of the town. High school basketball that I mentioned, Great Bend at home against Garden City on Friday. Dodge City, the only WAC team in action tonight. They play at Garden Plain, both their boys and girls off to rough starts. Hoisington at home at the AC tonight, taking on Smoky Valley. That on 100.7 Eagle Country. Larned is at Ellsworth. That girls' game should be a pretty good matchup tonight. I know Smoky Valley's got a lot of kids back once again, I believe, and they had a heck of a volleyball team. I don't know if that matters here, but thoughts on the matchups tonight?
Well, looking back at last year, they split. Hoisington won in Hoisington and Smoky Valley won in Lindsbury. It all seemed to stem from three-point shooting. I mean, Smoky Valley shot well down there and won, and Hoisington shot well at the AC, as you call it, and won. But I did hear this morning there is a possible young lady not back from injury yet. She needs to be cleared by the medical team. And then one young girl is sick. So
young lady for who?
Hoisington, I'm sorry. Hoisington
lady?
It's Paige Lamont. She needs to be cleared medically. And then Jordan Boxberger was ill yesterday, and they don't know if she was going to play tonight. So that could be a problem.
That will present some issues.
Yes, it would.
But
they're a little bit deeper than they have been. I don't know if Mandy will play them all, but they're a little bit deeper.
Well, if they're not there.
Well, she'll have to,
Jordan's
yes.
going to be ready to go tonight. So Larned taking on Ellsworth tonight at Ellsworth. So good broadcast vantage there at Ellsworth. You're doing a game. In the Central Prairie League tonight, it's going to be Central Plains at Ellenwood. St. John's at home tonight. They'll take on Kinsley. Otis Bison is at Stafford. Ness City's at Dighton. Chase, the Fighting Cats, and head coach Mike Marzoff venture down to Langdon, or just north of Langdon, where they'll take on the Fairfield Falcons tonight. He'll have his hands full. That Fairfield girls team's pretty good. Buckland is at Pawnee Heights. And let's see, also in the CPL tonight, Ness City is at Dighton. Victoria is at Plainville. So your matchups, you can see the matchups. Just go to GreatBendPost.com. All right, who's on your yard? Get off my yard. Coming up next.
The need for nurses is constant. Barton Community College offers practical and registered nursing programs. The affordable and challenging coursework is taught by experienced instructors who care about you and have a passion for teaching in the field of nursing. Get hands-on training in the classroom, state-of-the-art simulation labs, and at clinical sites for this high-demand field. The priority application deadline is January 31st. Apply online at nursing.bartonccc.edu.
Let technology bring you closer this holiday season to loved ones near and far. With unlimited data as low as $25 a month, you can get the phone you want with the features you need from the best people. Next Tech Wireless, keeping Kansans connected.
Second down, goal to go at the 3 for Mahomes. McKinnon is the running back now. He peels to the left flat. Mahomes looks there. Outside throw to McKinnon. Touchdown! Kansas City! Jerick McKinnon is a touchdown machine!
Saturday, the Chiefs wrap up the regular season against the Raiders in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. Pre-game starts Saturday at 2 on your home for Kansas City Chiefs football.
KVGB 104.3, The Point.
Sports Day proudly presents...
Hey, you! Get off my yard!
A look at what's bugging our grumpy old sports hosts.
And since Hash is the only grumpy old sports host here...
You have graduated?
I have.
You're no longer grumpy?
It's my New Year's resolution.
2023 is going to be a positive year for Steve Webb. He heard God talking to him from Poland.
I did. I thought I did. And then it was just the son from Poland that was telling me not to break his camera mount.
That's funny.
Oh.
Well, mine is going to be, I don't know how to even start this, but, we all talking about the injury that happened to DeMar Hamlins. The Fort Hays State University football team lost a player over the weekend. Daniel Howard, who was a junior at Fort Hays, was died Sunday morning, and they're not quite sure how yet. He was 22 years of age, and he played in all 11 games last year for Fort Hays, making 9 starts as a defensive back. He recorded 53 tackles, ranking 3rd on the team, and recorded an interception. So I guess my grumpy would be the dying of young people, or young people dying. That's not the way it should be. Should it?
Well, no.
Okay. That's a hard, I'm actually fairly positive after, as you mentioned earlier, a good weekend of football and sports in general. You got 30 seconds or 45 seconds. Let's hear it.
Conference bowl records.
Big 12 just needs to be quiet, don't they?
Well, so's the...
the Big 10 didn't fare well, did they?
Big 10, they competed, but they had, 9 teams in there. They went 5-4.
Okay.
Big 12 was 2-6.
Yeah.
ACC 5-4. Conference USA 3-3. Independents were 3-2. The MAC went 4-2.
Oh.
So that means they're the toughest conference in America.
What did the SEC do?
They were 6-5.
Oh.
11 teams of their 14 got bowl invitations.
Well, that's a little...
And look out for the American Conference. Wichita State needs to bring back football. They were 4-3. Talk to you tomorrow right here on Sports Day. Good show lineup. Check it out.
This is Agriculture Today, and I'm Samantha Bennett with the K-State Radio Network.
Happy New Year, everyone. I am personally very excited to see what 2023 will hold, especially for Agriculture Today programming. We're kicking off our first program of the year with an insightful conversation on African swine fever virus with K-State livestock feed scientist Dr. Cassie Jones. She joins Agriculture Today intern Katie Figge for a two-part segment sharing why this virus can be challenging to combat and the latest